One other factor is that the B-29s had carried the atomic bombs, and maybe one of the most important factors, had to fly by Iwo Jima. There's, of course, a possibility if we hadn't taken the island, the Japanese Zeros could have shot those two planes down. And we would have landed in Japan, the combat formation in November of 1945.
Thank you, Colonel.
Well, I was already wounded. I was on the hospital ship just off of Iwo, and they said that they raised the flag, and I got up and went up to the side of the ship, and I saw the flag flying from the side of the ship, from the deck of the ship.
John, where were you at when the flag went up?
Well, I was like Phil. I was on the houseboat ship. I was on the island probably 35, 40 minutes, an hour. I got wounded, went off the island that night. I was on the houseboat ship, and I don't remember anything about the flag raising. I just don't remember. I was probably down in the ship somewhere. May have been asleep, I don't know, but I don't remember anything. I don't remember all the whistles and all the bells blowing. I just don't remember it.
Colonel, what do you remember about the flag going up?
Well, you hear a number of men saying they didn't see the flag go up on the 23rd of February. That's because by the 21st of February, we had 30% casualties in the company, and these men were aboard hospital ships, as Bill and John mentioned. Biggest battle to overcome the defenses at the base at Surabaya was the 21st of February, when we broke through the fortified positions, probably 75 to 100 pillboxes and bunkers. And that evening, Easy Company was sent around to the east side in a blocking position. Nothing but rocks there, and you couldn't even dig a foxhole. You had to build up a bunch of rocks around you. So we didn't move back over to the northern side of the volcano until the 26th of March, and I think that's the first time I saw the flag. From where we were on the east side, you couldn't see the top of the volcano.
There were two flags raised, and then when the smaller one was taken down, there was a Navy personnel that came aboard and wanted that flag. Do you remember what the battalion commander told the Navy guy about that flag?
The story you want to tell is that most of the articles and the books that you read will say the reason for the second flag was because the first flag was small. It was only about 48 inches long. And the second flag was about 8 feet long. As I say, most of the articles say the reason for the second flag is because people couldn't see the first flag. Well, everybody saw the first flag. Everybody knew what it was. Ships off the shore, 800 ships somewhere out there. Some of them may have needed binoculars to see it, but everybody knew it was an American flag. So the reason for the second flag was not, as most articles say, to get a larger flag up there. As the first flag went up, the Secretary of the Navy, James Forrestal, came ashore with Lieutenant General Harlon Smith. We used to call him Holly Mad Smith. He was the commanding general of all the Marines in the Pacific. And the Secretary of the Navy looked up and told the general that that flag means the Marine Corps for another 500 years. Unfortunately, he didn't put that in writing. He also said, and it's not published, I want that flag as a memento of my visit to Iwo. So this information was phoned down to my battalion commander, who hung up the phone and said, hell no, you can't have our flag. We put it up there and we're going to keep it. So he sent one of the lieutenants down to the beach to get another flag, and as he left the command post, he yelled after him, Ted, he said, see if you can get a bigger flag. Now, we don't know why he wanted a bigger flag. Maybe because he thought people could easier see it, or maybe he wanted a more prestigious flag for the Secretary of the Navy. And we won't know because he was killed 10 days later. But Ted Tuttle went down to an LST and got a large flag, and the flag went up on top. Rosenthal, in the meantime, was climbing up the mountain, didn't know there was a flag going up, second flag. Nobody other than the people in the battalion, as a matter of fact, knew the second flag was going up. And Rosenthal just happened to get at the top at the time and take a photograph of the flag as it went up. The photograph became famous. Now, if the flag had not, the picture had not become famous, everything would have gone as the battalion commander wished. We would have saved the small flag, which was brought down and put in our battalion safe. When the Army occupation headquarters came on the island on the 15th of March, they put up their own flag, and the big flag on the volcano was taken down. Since Rosenthal's photograph had become so familiar back in the States, the two flags became famous, and somehow or other got taken back to Washington, cleaned it out and were safe. And I don't know who took them back, and I haven't heard who did.
Thank you. That's a bit of history you don't see in the books. And both of those flags currently are in the Marine Corps Museum in Quantico, Virginia, both flags. What were you doing, Ralph, when the flag went up?
Well, on the 23rd of February, after our company crossed the width of the island, they gathered us back, our captain gathered us back there at the base of the mountain, making plans to secure it. So Captain Severin sent 40 men up the mountain, and he sent the rest of the company, 40 men, about left of the 230 or so, around the base of the mountain. And that's where I went with my buddy Duncan. We went around the base of the mountain, and when we came back, the flag was up. The first and second flag was up, and we didn't even know it was up. And then he took us to the north end of the island to reinforce the 28th Regiment, and our back was to the mountain at all times. And I never got to see the flag. I was wounded with Strank and Block and all the rest of the guys that raised that flag. And I was blinded for 5 days, and it took me to Guam. So I never seen the flag until I got to Hawaii in the hospital, and I seen it through pictures. They showed me pictures of the flag that went up. That's where I was at when the flag.
Robert, where were you at when the flag went up?
Thank you. Most of you folks know by now that all of us was in the same company of the people that did raise the flag. There's not any of them left yet. We'll try to have them here, I'm sure. When they come around getting up the group to go raise the flag, I was on machine gun. They wouldn't let me go. So no, you got to stay on machine gun. Well, so I didn't see the flag raised. You couldn't see the top of the up there over the bluff from when you were sitting down at the base of it. So later, after that end of the island was secured, they'd taken our group and put us on, started us back to go on the front line going in the other direction. Well, we got up on higher ground going the other direction, and we could see the flag. And let me tell you, there was shouting, crying, saluting, and praying, all on at the same time when we looked back and seen that flag. It was beautiful.